Here's another video that nobody asked for, but I'm filming anyway. Ding. That's pretty good. Alright, so hey guys, it's Maddie and I don't shave my cooch. They're trying to make me do it and I just fucking won't. I'm resisting shaving the cooch. No one can make me do it. I'm on the loose. Okay, I need to like fucking plan what I'm gonna say in these intros because I swear to God, I start filming and like anything comes out of my mouth. What was that? So, hi. Clearly, as you can read in the title and heard in my brief little synopsis there, is I don't shave my cooch, won't shave my cooch, could shave my cooch, but choose not to because I fucking hate it. This is a video that I've been really wanting to make for a while. One, because I have a lot of opinions about it, but also because this is honestly a topic that I felt really insecure about for a while, because I felt like I had to shave in order to be desirable and that it was like the adult thing to do and that I needed to be like grooming my vagina, shaving it into fucking shapes and shit. God, I was a different person back then. So I just sort of wanted to talk through my experience becoming a person who does not want to shave and doesn't, sort of how I got here, why I got here, and what I feel now that I am here. Anyways, let's get into it. Part one, let's talk about my first time shaving. Ignore the excess amount of condoms in the background. You would think with all of these condoms I'm having like loads of sex. All honesty, I don't think I've had sex in like 6 months. Longer, way longer. 7 months, 8 months? Girl, it's been a minute. So my first time shaving my vagina and surrounding areas, I was probably like a junior in high school. I want to say that's like a standard age for someone to try shaving down there for the first time, but maybe some people did it sooner. Honestly, I had no desire to shave down there before that moment because I was not having sex in high school. It's not like I had the pressure of hooking up with like a prepubescent dude with the shitty opinions about what women should do with their bodies. But I did watch a lot of porn. I was watching a lot of porn with women who didn't look like me, who were thin and no hair head to toe. And when you're young and you're sort of learning what you think is hot and what you think is sexy, I think a lot of times you turn to porn to sort of understand and explore what that is to you. On top of the fact that I was watching a lot of porn where women were groomed that way, I, growing up, had really heavy periods. I would have like 7 to 10 day periods where every single day was like the heaviest day ever. Like I was the type of kid growing up where I went through like a tampon every hour. It was bad. And thank God my body like graduated from that. I'm not sure what the fuck happened, but like 2 years ago I started having light periods and now I'm not complaining, okay, because I used to have this shit bad. But at the time, I was having really, really heavy periods, and so obviously I'm wearing tampons during the day, but pads at night, because I'm not trying to get toxic shock syndrome. And obviously when you're bleeding profusely out of your vagina, and you have the most beautiful fucking bush of a cooch, it can get a little uncomfortable, and I think I was just, you know, wanting to shave around the time of my period, get rid of it completely so I could go through my period, let it grow back out, chop it off again when I was about to bleed profusely. I go, I do it, shave it all off, get out of the shower, look in the mirror, and I was mortified. Honestly, had never felt less sexy in my entire life. And I don't know if that's because I waited so long to experiment with shaving that I got used to what I looked like with the bush, and the last time that I had ever seen myself with no hair like that was before I hit puberty, and I shave it all off thinking that I'm gonna feel like sexy and clean, and I look at myself and I'm like, holy shit, you look like you're 11! I was like, oh my God, I'm never doing this again. What the fuck? I felt like you could have oiled me up and like sent me down a slip and slide and I would have gone like 4 blocks. Like I just felt like very aerodynamic. I don't know how to describe it. Like I felt so weird because I heard my friends talk about it, obviously seen porn stars with it, and I was just like not having the same experience. You know, even as I got older and had friends like go to get waxes done and just talk about how much they loved it, and I just could not have felt more of the opposite. I did not feel sexy at all. I felt young, and that is obviously not something that anyone wants to feel within the context of fucking sex, hopefully. I found it difficult to see myself as a sexual being without any hair. So I feel like figuring out that I didn't like shaving was a pretty like one and done thing. Like I did it once and I realized that I really didn't like it and I found it to be really uncomfortable. Does that mean that I never shaved again after that moment? No, okay? Because I am not this superhuman that automatically was like, well, I don't like it and I don't care what anybody thinks about it. When it is so obvious that it is not seen as particularly sexy to just exist full bush. I think it's sexy, and it is sexy, and we'll get into that. Figured out what I didn't like. Now let's talk about what I did after that, which was totally not listen to what I learned about myself that day. From that point forward, I definitely went back to sort of not touching it that much, maybe trimming it a little bit around the time of my period, but for the most part, just totally leaving it alone until I started dating men. Fuck. I think when I got to college and started dating men and hooking up with men, that is when I started trying to shave again, despite learning 3 years earlier that I fucking hated it and didn't think it was hot. We'll get there. So what I do like and what I do currently do is nothing. I will occasionally like give myself a good old trim, like cut off the dead ends every 3 months or something. And that's the way I prefer it. I actually feel really sexy when I don't touch it. I like the way that it looks. I like the way that it feels. And so for, you know, the good chunk of years that I was dating men and hooking up with men and trying to fucking shave my cooch, I also experienced the difficulties of trying to shave your cooter when you're fucking fat. Let's talk about it. Not that I know what it's like to have a flat stomach, but what I could sort of envision for trying to shave with no stomach. Like I imagine it would just sort of be a straight shot. Like you can look down and like see your vagina. Baby girl, I've never been able to look down and see my vagina. Like right now, if I'm looking down, I see my stomach. I pulled my stomach in and right now I'm looking at my boobs. So I have no idea how that would go. If it's easy and an enjoyable experience for you, then I'm so happy to hear that. But for me, trying to shave as a big woman was just pretty much a guessing game. And like maybe I would go in with a mirror, but like even that feels so fucking complicated, especially because it takes so long to do it anyways. Shaving cream. Okay, well we're gonna need more, okay? Because you waited 4 months to do this. It always just felt like a fucking extravaganza. Like I can't see what I'm doing. It's uncomfortable. It's taking me fucking forever and I don't even like how it looks. God, there's just no pros. There's absolutely zero pros to doing this. But she still did it. Fucking, I hate her. Why is Mango like playing with her toys as I'm filming? Girly, or on camera, okay? Quiet in the studio audience. And let me just say, throughout the years when I have hooked up with people without shaving, I have not once ever had anyone say anything negative to me. I've never had anyone complain. I've never had anyone say that it bothered them. I've never had anyone even make a comment on it unless it was to tell me that they thought that it was hot. Like I've never had anyone bring it up for a negative reason. And good, okay? They made a strong decision doing that. Who wants to argue with me when we're naked together? I'll do it. I'll ruin the night. I will. I think just the more that I have done it, the longer that I have spent totally not doing anything, the more that I just realize I really don't give a fuck. I really don't care what anybody else has to say about it. I don't care if you think it's hot. I don't care if you don't think it's hot. Like, it's not your body. I feel most confident like this. I feel most comfortable like this, both sexually and not. It's just fucking more comfortable. And that's where we get into the reason why I continued shaving for so long after I already knew that I didn't like it, which is just to satisfy the male fucking gaze. The male gaze is the act of depicting women and the world from a masculine, heterosexual perspective that presents and represents women as sexual objects for the pleasure of the heterosexual male viewer. For a while, I continued shaving, continued grooming my body, doing up myself in a way that I was taught that men liked, and not the way that I liked. I was valuing what I was taught men thought were attractive over what I thought was attractive on my own fucking body. Like, you say it out loud and you're like, what the fuck? Why would we ever? But it's so common and so expected that when you're doing it, you almost don't even realize that you're doing it. Molding yourself and manipulating yourself into fitting into what we are taught men think is desirable and attractive is something that I feel like just sort of develops as such a second nature. Like, you're just sort of expected to act in that way and to present yourself in that way, and you do it without even really thinking about it half the time. Like, there are so many instances that I can look back on growing up of things that I did to my body that, looking back on now, I'm like, what the fuck what are you doing? I don't value anybody else's input on my appearance besides myself, ever, for anyone. Even if I was in a relationship, I wouldn't give a fuck. Your input doesn't fucking matter to me. If you don't like it, break up with me. I don't care. I do not accept other people's input on my body anymore. But obviously growing up, that wasn't always the case. I was really afraid of going to hook up with someone or someone seeing me and them being repulsed, of them not wanting to hook up with me because I didn't shave, and having to go through that experience of being like physically rejected when you're in like the most vulnerable state a person can be in, like fucking naked with a stranger. I think I was so scared of having that experience that I was just like, let me not. I think that like how you groom your body, how you take care of your own body is something that shouldn't be up for debate or input from anyone else. If you want to shave all of the hair off your body, if that's what makes you feel comfortable and sexy, please fucking do it. And if keeping all of the hair on your body makes you feel sexy, then fucking do it. Like, I would never in my life tell someone what they should do with their bodies, what they should do to the hair that grows on them fucking naturally. I would never look at a partner and be like, that's gross, you should shave it. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I would never act like that because it's unacceptable behavior. In my opinion, nobody should ever be saying that to you. If you're with someone who has all these rules for what you should or should not look like, I need you to remind them what year it is and dump them. Yeah. Why am I singing so much in this video? I just realized that. Just in a singing mood. I know I talked a little bit about establishing your boundaries and what you feel comfortable with in last week's video, but I think this is another situation where I had to sort of establish where the fuck my boundaries are when it comes to taking in input from other people, accepting when I think it's okay for other people to give input from me, and sort of figuring out whose opinion I value and whose opinion that I don't. And you know what, honestly, the person that I'm meant for would fucking never think that they had the authority to tell me what the fuck to do with my body, okay? Also, let me just say that I don't only hold this belief for myself, I also hold it with everyone else. So anyone that I'm with, I also don't care what they do with it. I could care fucking less. Like, if someone doesn't shave at all, hot, I think it's sexy. If someone comes in and they shave, still hot, still sexy. Because you know what? You know what I think is hot and sexy? You doing what you fucking like for your body. I remember having this conversation with my friends and people would be like, oh, I would just like, I'm afraid that like they wouldn't want to go down on me. If you're with someone who's that afraid of hair, that they won't go down on you. It just feels like maybe we should bully people for that, you know? Like maybe we should bully people less about shaving if they don't want to and grooming their body to fit a certain mold, and more just like bully people who are afraid of hair. Weirdo. And honestly, I feel like anybody who acts like that, anybody who has that energy of like, oh, I would never touch a hairy cooch, I would never again, it's probably not good anyways, babe. It's okay, you didn't miss out on much. You are someone out there who feels the same way that I do, who really just hates fucking shaving and doesn't like doing it, and maybe you're someone who doesn't ever shave when you're by yourself and you've gotten into a habit of always shaving whenever you go to have a hookup. Maybe take some time to reflect on why it is that you shave, if not for your own personal pleasure and comfort. If you're someone who shaves all the time, prefers it that way, hell fucking yeah, please do what you need to do. I'm by no means saying that like you shouldn't shave, that you shouldn't wax it all off if that's what you want to do. What I'm saying here is just that if you are constantly existing alone by yourself, full bush, and then you only shave it when you're hooking up with people, are you doing it for you or are you doing it for them? And is that an opinion that you want to take into account when deciding what looks hot on your body and what you feel comfortable with? I don't know. For me, it wasn't. For me, I don't give a fuck. That fear inside my head of showing up to hook up with someone and them rejecting me for it, now that fear doesn't exist at all, because if I misjudged someone's character so hardcore and got to the point of hooking up with them and had that experience, that is like a saving grace moment of like, oh, thank God I'm not gonna have sex with you. Because like imagine if we never knew. At the end of the day, I hope more than anything this video has just drilled home the fact that what you like on your body, what you think is hot, what you think is sexy, what you feel comfortable doing, what you feel comfortable existing in is what you should do. And nobody else's opinion matters more than yours when it comes to the well-being and appearance of your own body, period. You know, if nothing else, I hope that this video gave you a second to reflect and figure out what your boundaries are, what your standards are, and consider if they're being met or not. And are you doing what you need to do for yourself? Are you? Comment down below, I wanna know. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, do that. And of course, turn my notifications on so that you never miss an upload from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.